Hey all, Mike Smith here. We had a cracker of a storm last night and we've got more storm weather coming on the way. We actually lost power. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you how I set up an uninterruptible power supply for my domestic fridge. And as you can see here, we are not connected to the house power supply at the moment. I've actually got the fridge running through this extension cord here. Yeah, it looks a little jury-rigged, but that's okay. This is for emergencies. And I've got some equipment, 12-volt equipment that I've repurposed out of my four-wheel drive. So let me just explain to you how this works. Okay, so I'm just going to go back around the corner here. So this is my house power supply. Okay, and that is connected to this power board here. And then from that power board, this lead goes in to that silver component in there, which is a charger inverter. And you would have heard of an inverter and you would have heard of a charger, but this is a combined unit. And the cool thing about this is that it will take 240 volts power and be a charger, but it will also pass that 240 volt power out. So that's what I've got here. So this is the output from the inverter, and it's just basically passing the house power directly back out to this power board. And then in this power board, I've got my appliances. So I've got a little light here, and I've also got my fridge, which is plugged in there. So whilst house power is on, that 240 volt AC power is just simply passed from this power board through the inverter, but not doing anything, just piggybacked out straight to here. The magic though is when the house power is interrupted. Now I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment. Also what that charger is doing though, as you may see, is that it is connected to my battery. And the battery is also powering my little camping fridge here, which is running quite happily at minus 18 degrees. So it's actually running as a freezer at the moment. Yep, that's my little emergency fridge. Okay, and the battery box there has USB outputs as well as 12 volt outputs as well. So that's running really, really well. Got a little current indicator here, so I can check to see what current is happening at the moment. And as you can see, there's really very little current going into the battery at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is interrupt the power supply by turning the switch off, and let's see what happens. Okay, you may have noticed that the sense of the current reversed a little bit, and also it's gone up to 13.5 amps. So that represents power coming out of the battery now to supply this light, and via this power board also my fridge. So that fridge is not designed for camping, it's a domestic appliance, whereas this little fridge here is designed for camping. It's designed to be really power efficient. But the inverter and battery combination are quite capable of powering the domestic fridge. And last night I tested it up to, it went flat at around about 7 or 8 hours. So that's okay. My little camping fridge, that battery will run for about 3 days. So there's a big difference there. So that's really good. So if the power fails, as it did last night, the inverter will change over to battery, and that keeps the fridge going, so I don't spoil the food. But the magic though is that when the power comes back on again, which I'll simulate now, let's see what happens here with the current. I'll flick the switch now, and you can see the current reversed, and now that charger inverter has turned into a charger for the battery. And now it's charging that battery up at 23 amps. That charger inverter is capable of delivering 50 amps. So last night, when this battery was flat, the inverter was able to bring it up to about 70% charge in about 20 minutes. So that was fantastic. Okay, so now we are at where we were before, with the 240 volt house power just coming in from here into the charger inverter and then straight back out here. That gives me an uninterruptible power supply for my fridge overnight, which is fantastic. If we exceed the capacity of the battery, I've got a further backup system here because I can connect this lead to my little generator here, which we've tested, and I can just connect the lead into this power outlet and let the generator provide the 240 volt power. And as I said there before, I only need to run it for about 20 minutes and this battery is up to 70% again. So now all of this other circuitry is really simply because this box comes out of my four-wheel drive and I've just pulled it out of there to give my house an uninterruptible power supply during the storm season. Okay, so that is my uninterruptible power supply for my domestic fridge, keeping the food from spoiling and the beer cold and the ice creams frozen. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Stay safe out there.